So the next little bit of information I want to convey concerning these cores. When it comes time to sand these things, you don't want to take a sanding block and do this, or at least I don't. So this is aluminum tube. I think it was Mecklenburg Duncan. It was out of a big box store 25-30 years ago, and I went into a store and I bought, I don't know, maybe 8 or 12 foot of this stuff, and I stood there and I double checked it. I laid one bar against the other and I played around with this stuff till I found I got multiple tubes that were accurate. So what I do is I put them together, and I wanted to see no gap. So it took me probably 15-20 minutes standing there at those displays to get tubes that weren't bent or distorted. And then they're nice because these square tubes, I don't put sandpaper on all four sides. I usually have sandpaper on opposing sides, different grits maybe. But what that allows me to do is use the edge of this glass and this MDF here as a shooting board. So if I lay a piece of wood up next to this glass edge and the bar goes on the MDF, well, then you can sand in a perfect right angle. And with this wing, I want to sand this down perfectly to this foam, and the rule of thumb is you don't want the sandpaper from point A to B to ever leave the material. So anytime you're down here and you're doing this, nothing's happening here, so you're prone to getting waves. So I like to take the bar and make sure that the bar is maintained from root to tip, and I can sort of feel it dragging. I can tell it's dragging. And you don't want to change the shape. You just want to take the foam down till you start to see it get flat just a little bit. I mean flat as far as not shiny. I don't mean flat as far as level. So you can take the shine off of it, and that's basically where you quit. So what I've got is a spar that matches the foam perfectly. Now if it's sticking up, then when you go to sheet this thing, now you got bumps. So whatever you do down here at this stage, not only is this making sure that your wing is straight as far as aerodynamically, but it's also assuring that you're going to have a good finish. So this 1/32 sheeting, if you had bumps or waves and you put this down, now you got to sand the bump and wave out. So, and then if it gets to the silk span or paint stage, now you're putting putty or filler or dope and talc or zinc stearate or whatever you're trying to build up the low spots. So the secret to a light finish that looks good is really at this stage here. You want it flat, straight. You don't want dips and waves. So at this point, this wood's thin enough, it's going to follow the contour of any imperfections. So I got this where I want it. I just wanted to go over a little bit talking about the sanding bar. So not only is the plate glass important, but your sanding bars are also equally important. Now let's say you had one of these bars and it had a little bit of a irregular dip in it or something. Try to find one bar that's flat, perfectly straight. Put some sandpaper on it, and then use that straight bar to actually, you know, lap this other one in. Just work them, get them as close as you can. It might take you hours to actually get this bar straight, or maybe all day for a bunch of them. But I've used these for 30 years, so the day or hours you spend selecting these things or actually working them to where they're straight will pay for itself many times over, because I'm still building straight airplanes with these bars. And like I said, the beauty of these square bars, of these tubes, it's you can get 90 degrees. So there's some other things that I've done where I've built wings and put trailing edge. I use these bars to actually hold balsa straight while I glue them. And sometimes I'll take these bars and I can pinch them together. You know, put a piece of wood in the middle while I'm jigging something up. Or so 90 degrees and flat. It's a really good thing.